Today I will tell you about an execution, but not an ordinary one, because after this execution the court gathered again. The defendant had not escaped, he had not been pardoned, he had died. And then he came back. In 18th century England, executions were swift. Trials did not last long, verdicts were not questioned, and punishment was final. Because the law accepted one principle: if a person lives, he can be punished. If he is dead, he belongs to God's judgment. The state does not intervene again. But reality is not always as orderly as laws are written. The man's name was John Smith. He was not a murderer by nature, not a traitor. He had simply killed someone during a fight. The court assembled. The decision was quick. He was found guilty and sentenced to hang. The day of execution arrived. The crowd gathered. The executioner prepared the knot. The rope was placed around his neck. The trap door opened, and the body dropped. Minutes passed. A doctor checked his pulse. The man was dead. The body was taken down, placed into a coffin. But the day was cold, and something went unnoticed. As the coffin was carried, a sound came from inside. Movement, then breathing, then a scream. The man was alive. His neck had not broken. The rope had not fully stopped the blood flow. The brief lack of oxygen had not killed him. It had only paused him. The crowd panicked. The priest stopped praying. The executioner stepped back, because no one knew what to do. The problem was not medical, it was legal. Had the man served his sentence? One opinion was clear: the execution had taken place. The rope had tightened. The state had attempted to kill him. He had died. Therefore, the punishment was complete. But another opinion existed. The punishment was death, and the man was alive. So the punishment had not occurred. The law had never imagined such a case, because the law does not plan for a return from death. The court gathered again, and this time the defendant walked into his own trial. The judges faced a paradox: a man both executed and not executed. The defense argued, the state tried to kill him and failed. It cannot attempt the same punishment twice. The prosecutor argued, the sentence was death, the man lives, therefore the sentence was never fulfilled. Hours passed in argument, but the trial was not about the man. It was about reality itself. What is death? The absence of breath? The stopping of the heart? Or the impossibility of return? Finally, the verdict came. The man was released, because the court accepted one conclusion: if the state attempts to kill a man and fails, it cannot try again. John Smith walked away free that day. Legally, he had survived death. This case created a legal principle: you cannot be judged twice for the same crime. Today we call it double jeopardy, and this principle was not born from theory, but from a mistake. The state tried to kill him. It failed, and the law, for the first time, adapted to reality. That is why this story is not merely strange, it is foundational. Because sometimes law books learn not from justice, but from chance. And sometimes one man's survival changes the future of thousands.